Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article from Reuters. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, this title is straightforward. Verizon expects capex to rise next year on network expansion efforts. So, let me explain. So, Verizon is still expected to come in at the 17.5 to 18.5 billion levels, but it looks like they're going to come in at the higher end of the 18.5 due to the expansion efforts. So Verizon is now moving towards very rural. They came in at 270 million pops this quarter with C-band. Now they're going to 300 plus million. So they're going to have to deploy, sites that are much further spread out, and they're going to have to deploy quicker, and they're going to have to build more macros as well. So the projected 2025 capital spending above market estimates on Tuesday at the U.S. telecom giant, as the U.S. telecom giant builds out its high-speed business to offset rising saturation in the wireless market, sending its shares down more than 4%. So you guys are already aware of that. So this is the interesting part, right? The new guidance, they're doubling their FWA from 4 to 5 to 8 to 9 million by 2028. And in order to do so, the C-band is going to be a huge part. So Verizon has also been investing heavily in C-band spectrum, which allows for widespread 5G coverage with better speeds. It expects to add 80 to 90% of its sites on C-band by the end of 2025. It forecasts capital spending for 2025 to be between 17.5 billion and 18.5 billion, as I said, the midpoint of which was above estimates of 17.57 billion, according to data compiled by LSEG. So they're expecting, like I said, that they are expected to come in closer to that 18.5, but nothing crazy. Like, they're not raising capex to the $20 billion level that it was at when they first started deploying C-band. So first, right, next year they're going to go to the MDUs with this millimeter wave solution. So they've went through the trials and tribulations with millimeter wave. They've been deploying it since 2017. They do the permitting. They do millimeter wave. That's their thing. They do it. They know it well. They know how to optimize for it. They're in tune with it. This is what they're going to use to target MDU units, right? Yes, you can use C-band with MDU units, but you can't target a lot of people. You might be able to get a few using the extra capacity model from the C-band, right? Because that's what they're doing with the C-band sites. They also have to look at, okay, how many users can we add per sector, because there's only so much that we will allow from a C-band site. But using millimeter wave, free game. However many you can add, because you're still going to have competition in the MDU, like, especially if there's fiber there. I mean, you're still going to have competition. But using millimeter wave, maybe multiple nodes, maybe one in the front, one in the back, whatever, they might be able to get 50, 60 units to join FWA. And I think that's what they're looking at. So I'll say it again, right? This type of performance, T-Mobile will not be able to match unless T-Mobile is really serious about this millimeter wave situation. If they're not, there's going to be areas in downtown areas where Verizon is extensively going to outperform them severely. Like, we're talking 3, 4, 5 gigs here. So, and Verizon is going to continue to build more and more of these as well. They're going to put it on macros. So that's what we're expecting, right? T-Mobile will still perform fine. They're still going to be able to grow. They just won't be able to match the raw performance of what Verizon will be able to output once this network expansion effort continues, right? They're at 270 now, which is about 30 million between them and T-Mobile. So for most part, the top 100 markets, they have C-band coverage, continuous C-band coverage. Are there still sites that need it? Yes, I will acknowledge there are still some sites that need it. But for the most part now, Verizon should have it deployed on 80 to 90% of sites within the top 100 markets. So there's still probably 10 to 20% of sites that need it and are projected to get it. All sites within the top 100 markets should get C-band. There might be a few that won't, or that are not scheduled or planned to get it, but they should get it. and then the millimeter wave deployment. I've seen it here. They're still deploying millimeter wave now. Per Joe Russo, they've shifted to deploying C-band on C-RAN. So that's going to also lift capacity on the small cells and range too. You're going to get more range versus millimeter wave and CBRS that's deployed on small cells today. So they're getting more out of the small cells by deploying C-band as well. So we're going to continue to monitor this. We're going to continue to see these efforts and this expansion over the next year or so. Probably this will run into 2026, but I expect early 26 they'll be at 300 million pops, and then we can measure performance and everything between them and T-Mobile. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.